So hi, I'm Jeff Leisawitz with Brown Paper Tickets. I'm also the author of Not Effing Around, the no bullshit guide to getting your creative dreams off the ground. I love talking to creative people, and I found some more. It's Tay and Val. How you guys doing?
Hi,
All
this
right.
is Val.
And this is Tay.
Okay, all right.
Don't get confused.
Okay, cool. So tell me about what you do creatively. What's your thing? What are you guys up to?
Do you see that 3 things on the wall behind you? Okay, so creatively we are filmmakers.
We create. That was the first thing I said. I wanted to say, well, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
We are filmmakers, we are storytellers. Beyond that, we are also spiritual teachers and soul coaches that are disguised as master storytellers. So we primarily create stories or use our stories or use other people's stories to
Help people get unstuck, especially on their creative journeys. So we have a deep belief that everyone here is here to create something useful, something beautiful, something of service to everyone else. And we help people get them either onto that path, or if they're stuck on that path, get unstuck and keep going.
Fantastic. That's so good. How did you come to this? Like, how did you understand this for yourselves?
By first being stuck and destructive.
I think, do you want a story right from the very beginning?
I want whatever you have to say. I want to hear it.
Wow,
I'll go first.
go.
So I started out very early on in my childhood as an artist. I was a painter, and at the age of 15, I was awarded a national award, and we were gonna get that award from the president himself.
Wow.
But my mom sat me down and said, "You are not going to that ceremony. We are not collecting that award." Of course, I went ahead anyway, and when I came home, she had thrown away every single piece of my artwork, as well as all the art materials I had to create them. And so that began my 10-year drought, if you will, of creating at the very artistic level. So I graduated, and my first career was actually, believe it or not, in a creative agency.
Right.
And I was one of the suits, so we managed the clients. And second year into my career, I was diagnosed with early stage colon cancer, and that was when it was like a wake-up call for me. I began to go on a self-exploration as well as self-awareness journey to figure out why is it that I'm here, and how is it that every single experience I've had has led me to this point. I believe that I had a lot more going on for me. I just need to find the door and walk through it, and that was when I met Tay.
The hero comes. So basically, I have been a filmmaker my entire life. I graduated from college and then went to work at a production company. Immediately became a television producer and director. I love my job. It is, I feel like, one of the most privileged career you can ever have on this planet. Right? You walk into people's lives. They share their stories with you. They share their hopes, their aspirations, their tragedies. They share tears with you, and I feel like I have seen things that I might never have been able to experience this lifetime with all these people. But yet, I was very stuck with even living in my most passionate job. I was stuck with unfulfillment. I was looking for the next award I can get somehow to somehow fill this empty hole inside me. And then when we met, I was at a point of my career where I was ready to just give it up. I, like, from Singapore, got a New York Festival Gold Award, came and received the award, and I
Didn't know what to do with it.
I left the ceremony empty. I'm like, what's next, right? What's on the plate next? What more should I go out and get? And then I came back and we came together to open our own production company, and did a story about bringing two people together to facilitate an apology. It was something that spoke deeply to our hearts, and we knew that was the power of television, to help people see this process, this journey of courage and coming to your own truth. Unfortunately, that burned us in our pockets, in our souls, in our
Hearts.
whatever that we had left.
Yeah.
And
Because there was a certain ethics and certain integrity we wanted to present the show with. We wanted to show the whole world, well, just the Singaporean audience, that the journey mattered more than the destination. The internal struggle, the demons we come face to face with, and the challenges we have to overcome to face ourselves first, above all, before you even go ahead and apologize to someone else and make amends and seek understanding. That part was more important to us than the final dramatic tears and whatnot. But that wasn't very agreeable with the folks that we were working with. And so we fought really hard. It ended up to be almost a year-long nightmare for us. It went out well. It was very well received, and we stuck. I mean, we stuck to what we wanted to do, but it was at the cost of ourselves. Yeah.
so we went on a self-explorational backpacking trip to get away from all of this, to put our heads in the sand like ostriches. We basically just needed a break to know where to move on from there, and that trip led us to meet a man who changed our lives, which got us started on this journey around the world to document people's dreams. And the long story short, in the last 5 years, we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about ourselves, what we were stuck in, what were our stories, how to rewrite our stories. And along the way, we met many, many, many teachers, masters, healers, shamans, and they taught us how we can rewrite our story, how we can create in a more empowering way. And this is where we are today.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Using our skills, using our craft, using whatever that we know to help other people create their own stories.
Great. That's an amazing journey, and it's just beginning, sounds like.
Indeed.
Okay, so tell me this. How do you get unstuck?
He gets to the juice really quickly.
I think the first and foremost is to acknowledge that you're stuck. I think a lot of people I am guilty of not acknowledging it, because I think it's a shameful thing. It means admitting that I'm weak, admitting I'm not good enough. But I think a lot of times getting past unstuck is to first pause and acknowledge that I am stuck. There's this wall in front of me and I need to look at it. And sometimes that's all it takes as well.
And if that still does not work, and you begin to see a pattern of how you have always come to a point, and then you get stuck. You move forward, you come to a point, and then you get stuck. Then there's a deeper story that is underrunning your entire life. For me, that story is self-worth. How much am I worth? And I'm worth in this world. How much can I receive? And the tool that we use to get unstuck is really to go back in time, to the past, if you will, to find out at which point, at which exact moment, did we buy into an agreement, a contract, that I am going to rerun this story and replay this story until I learn the lesson that I want to learn. And to get to the root of that to the core of the issue and really understand what was it, what was the emotions that were there, what did I take in and hold in my space all this time, and then I stuck it from there.
Great. Wow. Takes a lot of digging sometimes to get through this stuff, I know.
Sometimes it really doesn't take too much. It really takes for us to be willing to be honest, to understand that as human beings, this is not our first lifetime on this planet. We all know that. And to be willing to see, to be willing to acknowledge that we've all been through so much. We've all done the good things, we've all done the bad things, we've all experienced so much. It's just a matter of, if you are just reading your own storybook, right? You can flip to the first page, and then you can flip to the last page. You can rewrite your story. It's as simple as that.
I think sometimes it is also the willingness to unidentify with that obstacle or with that particular issue. You know, it's like if you have been carrying a haversack or a backpack on you for the last 20 years of your life, and suddenly you are asked to put it down and you realize, my goodness, I can put this weight down. You're gonna feel really uneasy. You're gonna feel like you're not yourself without the backpack. And people are gonna look at you like you're different because now they're seeing you without that giant shadow looming over you. And so you have to be willing to say, you know what, I am not my issue. My issue is not me. I get to tell my story, what it means to me and others, not the other way around. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good. Thank you. Thank you both. That's really good. Okay, so what you're doing this bike trip, you're talking to people, you're helping inspire people. What do you love about what you do?
We're going to give you different answers. You want to go first?
You can give me as many.
The 5 years on our journey around the world has really shown me what I thought to be impossible. It has really shown me the kindness of humanity, the generosity of humanity, You know, in the past, I always hear the word, we are one, we are one, we are one, and I get so, we are one, huh? You know? What? What do you mean by that? But on this journey, I understood. If you can look at each other from spirit to spirit and recognize each other as part of this greater universe, that we all share this space, there is no difference. There is no separation, if you will. There is no color difference. There is no gender difference. There's no income difference. There is no, right? And as you went on this journey, it really helped me see that people welcome me into their homes, whether they have the money or not. They all want to do a greater good. They feel like they can make a difference through us. People always tell us, you don't have to thank me. You don't have to give me anything back in return. Just continue on your journey. And to have someone say something to you like this, it's like, whoa. Right? My only job was to receive that and to pay it forward.
Recently, somebody asked me to define love. And the answer I came up with was, like I said, I believe that as spirits, we're all here to create. And love is that energy that fuels that creativity. And so what I love about the work that I do is shining light, not onto any darkness or any, like dark issues, but just to be able to shine my own light. I think that alone gives other people permission to shine theirs. and I love it when people come up to me or come up to us and say, thank you just for sharing, or thank you for just being here, because I feel so at ease with myself. I feel I can be myself again. I feel like I've come to know myself better, and that rocks.
That rocks. There's no doubt about it. You're doing some good in the world.
It's a great honor to be able to hold space for something, for a possibility to happen.
Yeah. Cool. Very good. Thanks. So, how do you know when you're successful with what you're doing? As a creative person, as a teacher, speaker, whatever. How do you know?
It's so funny you ask, because just this morning we're crafting a workshop called Training Your Tell. So we have collected almost 4,500-ish dream portraits, and these dream portraits are people writing their dreams on their hands and us taking a photo. And every time we take that photo, we will ask the person, well, if this is your dream, show us a moment when you're living it. And we will look out for that moment and then capture it and sort of like immortalize it permanently. And after 4,500 dream portraits, you begin to know there's a tell in everyone, and that's when I got it. I got that moment. And so I think success, in a way, is measured or evaluated in that along the same vein, if you will. It means so many different things to different people.
Sure.
For me, I know that I'm successful when I've got a good story to tell my kids. Still writing in progress, but I am enjoying every page so far.
Great. Very cool. All right.
Can't beat that.
Stop there for that one. Okay, cool. So when you guys have a goal or an ambition that you want to do, maybe it's this workshop or the whole bike trip or whatever, do you have any strategies to go from sitting on the couch to making it happen? Do you make lists or prioritize? Do you have people to hold you accountable? Do you do a dream board or a visualization? Like what are you up to with all that?
Go.
Are you gonna do the V diagram?
Sure.
Okay, so let us tell you a story. We were on Molokai, an island in Hawaii, and we were doing a presentation. After our presentation, this woman shaman came up to us and she said, meet me this time, this place tomorrow. And so the both of us thought, wow, we're in for a treat, right? She's gonna show us.
I was imagining these rituals that's coming. We're going to sweat lodge,
Right.
Under the moonlight.
adventure stuff.
We met at this clearing. She took out a notepad and a pen.
And then she drew us a diagram.
And she said, every creative process in this world goes through these steps. And it was a V diagram, and she showed us the various steps that everyone has to go through, every cycle. The first is ideation. So when you have that light bulb moment, ching ching. And the second is synergy. To us, we define synergy as the synchronicities of the universe coming together to tell you, hey, we've got your back. And then the third stage you're going to, and that's where everybody starts worrying, or they start limiting themselves. It's because they gather information. So I'm at point A, I need to get point B. What do I need? Resources, information, opportunities, action plan, scheduling, accountability, things like that. And then, almost instinctively, all of us switch to the how mode. We want to figure out the how. For every action item we have on our list, we want to figure out the how.
But if it's where we come from, you will have a plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Make sure you're covered.
And then the rainy day plan. So here's the thing. The shaman taught us this, and she said, it's very important you learn this, and it's very important you teach this. And she said, there can be no hows unless you first decide. So a lot of us try to cross from this point to this point. She says it's like an invisible bridge. You will drop unless you decide the house will only be shown to you then. And so we learn that very often the first thing anyone has to do when it comes to getting something done, putting your project out there, is to decide and commit to it.
Hell yeah, that is so good. That is obviously good stuff. So no rituals, but basically the plan of the universe, right? The key to your success and dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, she literally told us every single one of your success and why you are more successful than other people is because you made a decision.
Yeah.
And then you can go figure out the house.
Yeah.
Right?
She said the universe ain't gonna show you nothing until you make your commitment and say, I've decided I'm gonna do this. And it has been true for us in every single endeavor we have done so far. We've only become successful because in the first place, we decided.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful stuff. It really is.
It sounds so simple, right?
It sounds so simple, but that bridge is fear, right? That bridge is, it looks like it's falling apart. Now you're gonna fall off the thing. But hey, you just close your eyes and you're going to the other side.
Yeah.
And you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Step confidently across the abyss. Right? Okay, cool. Well, thank your shaman friend for me and for everybody. I mean, it's good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, cool. So we've talked a little bit about your successes and your sort of objectives and plans and all that kind of stuff. So what about failure? Have you ever failed?
There's a part in our life events. There's the exact question that I start with. When we came to the United States, there was a professor at the lowest point in our lives when we were here, came and asked us, Tay and Val, have you ever failed?
This is a really awkward moment because she was interviewing us to speak at the university. So we really wanted to do it. But at the same time, we didn't know how to answer her question. And so after forever, I chose the following words. I said, when we choose to. We fail only when we choose to.
So tell me what that means. What does that mean to you?
What does it mean?
I don't see failure as a definitive the end. I always see it as a milestone en route to eventual success. And if you choose to stop there at the milestone where it says failure, then, well, I suppose, yes, you can say that you have failed. But even then, you learn something from it, right? So that's what it means to me.
A project has a life of its own, right? It is an entity, an energetic entity on its own. It is always changing. There is always ups and downs. If you look at the world in a greater scope, there is always an up and a down. So by saying that you have failed, it means you came to this point, you failed. You still have to decide if you want to go further down, or you want to go up, or you want to just go straight, right? So it is a continuing journey. There is no...
I think what we are really trying to say is there is no absolute reality known as failure. There's no such thing. There just really isn't. No matter how hard you try and find and search for it, you can be listening to the worst, sad and horrifying, terrible stories, and there are many of these out there in the world. But even those stories are shining light of some sort on something. And so there really is no absolute reality where you can call this is failure.
It's questionable.
Yeah, it's arguable.
Okay, we're not going to argue it right now, but sounds all right. Okay, so answer me this, if you would. What have you learned from failure? It's a dramatic pause.
What have I learned from failure? I think I've learned to be more creative. I've also learned when things are not going my way, there is a better way. I've also learned that when things are not what I expect them to be, I need to redefine my role, and ask myself, what do I want to be known for? What role do I want to play in this? What are my greatest strengths to bring into this project that I'm working on? And I think from all of that, the greatest lesson I've learned from maybe not doing so well in something is understanding that there's someone out there who can do this better than I do. So delegate.
Okay. Great one. Great answer.
What I've learned from failure is to quit being a perfectionist. No matter how good it is, there's always a way to make it better. So sometimes good enough is bloody hell good enough. So put it out there already.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. People who are passionate about what they do, they always want it to be better, which is great. It helps them do great stuff. But you got to know when to be done and let it go and move on. Yeah, great answers. Thank you, guys. So let's talk about the comfort zone. It seems like you do not really stick too much to the comfort zone.
Really?
What's a comfort zone?
Okay. Comfort zone is sort of a term where people stay with what they know, right? They understand whatever it is, and they don't really push out of that or move forward. It can be creatively, if you already know how to, paint this kind of picture, you don't really try a new medium or a different kind of paper or something like that. But it can also be, just in your lifestyle. If you have a job that's you don't even really like it, but it pays the bills and this and that, you might stay there, which is your comfort zone, instead of trying to get a different job or a different relationship or anything that's outside of what's safe and comfortable for you. So the question is, do you stay in your comfort zone?
My answer is yes. We are always, our first priority in doing anything is we have to be comfortable.
We learned this very early on our journey. We actually met a veteran round the world cyclist, and she was like in her 40s, close to 50s, and still at it. And we were like, how do you do this? Isn't it difficult? And she took one long, hard, piercing look at us, and she said, what I'm doing is the easiest thing I can possibly do for myself in my life. You want me to do what everyone else is doing? That's difficult. A lot of people have it the other way around, maybe molding yourself after the model American dream character is your thing, but it's definitely not ours. And so we are always vibing in the comfort zone. We only want to do things that are comfortable. I think that the thing is acknowledging what is true comfort to yourself. What are you at ease with? What do you fancy? Versus the comfort of other people, other expectations.
That is a not effing around answer.
Yeah, high five.
Awesome.
I mean, it's like when I was an award-winning TV producer, director, I had a salary. I was doing a job that I really love, but I wasn't comfortable.
Weird, huh?
I was so uncomfortable. It's like, I need to do something that's more comfortable than this, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like you said, there's a line around the block of people who love that job, right? And maybe it's perfect for them, or some of them, and you had it, but
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with if you're comfortable in a 9 to 5 job. If you're comfortable,
Then own it.
yeah, it's like it's no big deal. It's like sometimes people listen to our stories and they say, "Wow, you've gone cycling around the world. I can't do that." It's like, that's fine. Why do you want to go cycle around the world if it's not comfortable for you?
It's not for everyone. And you're like, well, but I really want to travel around the world. So I say, if I were to give you all the money there is in the world right now, and you have to leave tomorrow, can you do it? And like, well, you see, do what is soothing for your soul first, and then the rest will unfold.
good quote.
Good call.
Good quote. You guys are
Tweet
rocking it.
Read them all.
Okay, cool. Okay, so how about this? Art, out there in the world, it's generally thought of that art and creativity and living your dreams is sort of therapeutic or healing. So can you speak to that? How has your creative journey been healing for you?
Wow.
I'm an artist. Doing my accounts is healing for me. I think a lot of people like to package art like it's the thing that will make you whole, or you're not well, let's fix you with art, with healing modality, or there's something wrong with you, let's fix this inside or outside. I think it's important to know what makes you whole and then do that instead of buying into a trend, even though everyone should support the arts.
They should. You're right. Okay, what I want to know is how your creative journey has healed you.
Can you prompt?
Can you give us some prompt, or like, we're not sure if we understood your question.
Oh, okay. So you have been, sounds like to me, making the decision to live the creative life that you choose. Okay? Which is very different from staying in the, TV job or whatever. Okay, so you've made that choice. What has changed in you? What has healed in you by making that choice?
In the past, I would not have been able to say that I'm fulfilled. It's a terrible thing in the past for people to even see me smile. I always put up a very fierce, very unemotionless face when I'm working. I feel like that is where my authority is. This is who I am. I need to define myself that way. My own journey has brought me to this point where I am happy. I am honestly, truly happy. And I know what I am doing, where I am heading, and how I'm going to get there, and what I am going to leave behind at the end of the day. If something happens and I die tomorrow, I am able to say that, cool, it's fine. I did what I came here to do. There is no regrets for me. And I feel like that is the greatest gift anybody can have, to be able to say that I am so happy right now. It's cool. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to fix.
Just is. Beautiful. Good for you, both of you guys.
Good for me.
You want to answer that one?
No,
Okay.
I'll let you have it.
Cannot beat that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it back.
So here's another one for you. A lot of artists and a lot of creative people, well, creativity is generally not known for being safe, right? It's a tricky journey in a lot of ways for a lot of people. So a lot of people that I know of have had resistance from their families when they declare, I'm going to be an actor, I'm going to be a filmmaker, I'm going to be a photographer, a painter, a dancer. What would you say to someone who is facing that kind of resistance in their families, who's trying to be inspired to be true to themselves?
I can speak to that.
Go.
Again, it sounds very obvious, but communicate. Let me give you an example. When I say, think of a blue sky, right now, there are 3 shades of blue. If you attend a talk and there are 200 attendees, there are 200 talks going on. Everybody has their own perceived reality that is shaped by their own upbringing and their accumulation of experiences. And the only way you can bridge the differences in each other's realities is through compassionate communication. And I don't mean compassionate as in, compassionate, but compassionate as in your willingness and ability to see yourself in whoever you're relating to. Being willing to see that, yes, my mother's being a bitch right now, but if I were in her shoe, I would probably have done something very similar.
Yeah.
I think the dangers that our parents have are valid because we don't have enough positive examples out there, especially in mass media, that's a good representation of hardworking, beautiful artists creating, work that is making a difference. We don't have that yet. We're working on it. But you can, on your own part, do your research and show your mom, hey, there are better ways. And I think I can be part of that better way too.
And if in any case that they really, in their reality, cannot accept that is fine.
You gotta be cool with their inability to accept. You can reach an understanding, it doesn't mean they have to accept. So what if they're a parent, and so what if you're their child? They have every right to reject that reality. And you gotta be able to accept their inacceptance. Yeah.
Nice. True. Absolutely. Thank you. So you're on your creative path, you've decided what to do, you've got a plan, you're doing it, right? You're living it. Fantastic. Do you ever have doubts and fears about what you're doing, your ability to do it, your value as a person or an artist, and how do you get through that?
Constantly. As the projects get bigger, constantly there is the fear that comes up. The familiar fear, oh, I've seen you before, and the greatest tool for me really is when we talked about just now, understanding from the past, present, and future, why am I creating this reality for myself? Why is this fear showing up again and again and again? If this fear is here for me all the time, I am the only constant. It means it has got nothing to do with the project that's happening. It's got nothing to do with anyone else around me. It must have something to do with me. And in an empowering way, we can look at it. We can look at this fear. Instead of making it an enemy, we can look at this fear, we can look at this obstacle and ask, what the hell am I trying to learn, right? Tell me, what am I trying to learn? And in that curiosity, there's an answer. In that curiosity, it is okay to be honest. It is okay to see the truth. And I understand that if I don't look at this, it is going to come back. 10 years later, it is still going to come back, and I will still have to look at it. So
And sometimes the fear of facing your fear is way bigger than the actual facing. And if you turn it the other way around, it goes the same for what other people think of your work. The thoughts of other people reflect them, not you. And it's a constant reminder. We take turns cheerleading each other, many times. Other people's critique is a reflection of them, where they are at and how they project their reality onto your work. If your work has had the ability to provoke some form of reaction, I say you got something going on.
It used to be, like we look really young, right? And there's this social conditioning that we will give our space away to someone more senior than we are, someone more experienced than we are, someone who is elder than us. Like in our culture, we straight away call this person an auntie, we straight away call this person an elder, like we immediately just do this and we just give our power away. And it has been very empowering for us to be able to recognize that and help each other with it. It's like, hey, you just lose, more often it's me, it's like, hey, you just lose your space to so and so, you got to take a look at that. Yeah. And understand that why did you just do that? Mm-hmm. And then understand where was this story first written, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Where was it? Go find that out and work through it.
Great, fantastic. Okay, 2 more questions. Mm-hmm. Next one. Some people would say that the artful and creative life is a struggle. It's really difficult for a lot of people to pay the bills, to even just put something out, even just create something. Why do you, or why would anyone go through this struggle? Why do this?
Again, I believe that the struggle is a concept we all buy into. Many times we are all, I don't care what culture you come from, there's somewhere inside your culture that says that you reap the rewards of what you sow. And oftentimes what you sow is accompanied with struggles, pain, sweat, tears, blood, if you will. It doesn't have to be. When we came on this journey, it was going to be a round the world cycling trip. And the first ground rule I laid down with her when we were going to say, yes, we're going to do this, is I do not want to suffer. Which is like, how is it possible? You're definitely going to suffer. There are going to be nights where there's nowhere to sleep and we've got to sleep on benches in the park. And maybe some days we'll starve because we won't have enough money. I said, nope, not doing that, not buying into it. And sure enough, there hasn't been a single night where we have to sleep out there. We've always been very, very well fed. Don't buy into suffering. You don't need to suffer to deserve what you want. You just need to own it. You just need to believe that you deserve it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, let's just take, like, personally, for example, I grew up in a country where we are famous to be successful, you have to obtain the 5 C's. And that is like cash, the car, the condominium, the credit card, and the country club membership. And then you will stop struggling, right? But this is whose standard? Why did we buy into that standard? I still don't have a car. I still don't have a condominium. I don't even have a credit card. Does it make me struggling? I'm not struggling. I'm very comfortable right now. And where we are able to choose the most quality of life that we want. So what do you want? Like, we buy only organic food because we choose to honor this temple that our body is? What is the priority? Why are you struggling with other people's rules? Right? So when she told me that we're not going to suffer, I had a rule within myself that if I go at it hard enough, if I suffer enough, if I did it long enough, I won't be successful. I never knew I had such a strong I held on to this limiting belief so strongly that I was going to go out there and create the homeless nights. I was going to go out there and create the starvation,
hunger,
the hunger, the eat bread for 3 meals a day, because that was what I believe in. And then she came, put her foot down, and it just blew my mind. It's like, how is it even possible? And it happened.
Nice job. There you go, right? Yeah, it's amazing. But it's true.
Yeah.
Very
It
good. Okay, so here's the last one. So you are now talking to anybody who is looking forward into their dream, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Again, any creative thing, whatever. I want to know your bullet points for NFA, not effing around. What are the NFA steps to go from sitting on the couch to getting on that stage, or doing that play, or taking a bike trip around the world, or having a gallery show? Hit me.
Decide.
Step number 1.
Yeah, let's start with number 1.
Okay. So I'll do the steps and then you say the words.
You guys got this all worked out already.
Yeah?
No?
No, you finish it and just celebrate.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, step number 1, you got an idea.
Step number 2, synergy.
Watch out for the signs that the universe are giving you. So step number 3, you want to go gather information. Have all your action plan and steps ready. Now step number 4, which is the most important step. Don't skip it before jumping into the how. Step number 4,
You decide. Once you decide, the turning point will happen and it will bring you to the how. Once you decide, you will know whether option A will work better than option B or option C.
before you decide, you're going to have no options. So after you've crossed over to step number 5, which is the how part, you're going to go into step 6, which is shift and adjust. We live in a completely synergistic, energetic, fluid world. Nothing is going to go according to plan. I can assure you that.
And dreams change.
You change. Dreams change. Maybe what you want is very different from what you thought you want. And that's okay. Quit beating yourself up over it. So be willing to shift and adjust. And at all times, be honest with yourself. And step number 6, 7. Step number 7 is also a step that's very overlooked by people.
You celebrate.
So by celebrating, we don't mean like pop champagne, although champagne is nice, but you affirm yourself, you reward yourself, or you talk about it, you look at the steps that you have taken. When you look back, the dots, they always connect. Trust us on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Tay and Val, you guys are so great. You are totally not effing around. I love it. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
All right.